All right, so happy Monday, Inspired Beauty. Tonight, ooh, I already did that. Let me share. Tonight we're talking all about mindset. And I titled this A Champion Mindset. I hope you guys can see this. Let me increase the size of this a little bit. There we go. I titled this A Champion Mindset because I think that this is what separates people who win versus people who just take themselves out of the game. I'm not going to call anybody a winner and a loser because that's not even like relevant in this, but it's a winner versus somebody who just stops playing. They go ahead and they just sit on the bench, and maybe not even sit on the bench, but just exit themselves as spectators. I find it often curious when I have somebody who is literally on the field, in the trenches with me, right? And we're like linking arms and we're elbow to elbow and we're going for our goals and our mission and our dreams together. And then all of a sudden I see them take a break, which would be like getting on the bench, right? And a break is okay. We can learn how to rest. But what really, really, really bursts my bubble every time is when we don't just get on the bench, but we then go and we sit in the stands. And instead of getting on the field and being a part of the team, we become a spectator of the team. I'm sure you've seen people on our team who are like that. And I'm sure at some point in your life, in your journey as a coach on our team, you've also been that. But our team is not a place where it's meant to watch. If you want to watch our team, you don't need to be a coach. You can simply do that by being my follower on Instagram, right? Like if you just want a bench to watch it on, no, like the reason you become a coach is to get on the field with me in whatever capacity, whether it's for self-care, whether it's for mindset, whether it's to level up in your business or towards your dreams, or if you've got something laid on your heart, or you just want to have a little extra money to spend on yourself from time to time, like whatever that looks like, I want you on the field with me and not in the stands. So we're talking about champion mindset tonight. One of your 4 vital behaviors on your Success Club system business activity tracker is personal development. And every day it asks us to engage in personal or professional development, right? For about 15 minutes. Insert shameless plug for the Slight Edge one more time. If you're not already in book club with us. But truthfully, you guys, the one thing, if I could tell you one thing in Beachbody that changed everything for me, it would not be a program. It would not be a flavor of Shakeology. It might be Energize. Just kidding. Energize is life, but it's not the thing that changed everything for me. And it's not the invites. It's not the social media. Like all that stuff's really cool. What changed my life, you guys, was personal development. Personal development changed my life. I don't have a success story, a transformation from Beachbody products that's from like rags to riches, where I lost like 200 pounds and like got this crazy new body. Like that's not Lord today. Just chaos in the Frost house tonight, you guys. Oh my gosh. Go back over here. There we go. Sorry, you guys. I don't have a big transformation story is what I'm trying to say. Outside, on the external. I do, however, have an insane transformation story on the internal, between my ears, in my head. And it's still ongoing to this day, okay? I believe that personal development has saved my life over and over and over again. And I mean that. I mean that from somebody who's had some spaces in her journey where she walked through really hard times of depression, anxiety, and just not feeling like I mattered so much. And I'm telling you that personal development is the life changer for me in this business. So if there's one thing I've always clinged to, it's personal development. But maybe you're one of those people that you're like, I don't need that stuff, or I can do my business without it. And if that's ever been you, it's okay. But I'm going to suggest that there will become something in your business, or someone in your business, or some circumstance in your business, some obstacle that is going to rattle your bones, shake you to the core, make you second guess yourself. And that's where mindset is so important. Okay? And so mindset is the thing I check every day off my list because I know that I can't go out and be for others if I'm not first pouring into myself, right? And so we're going to talk about 5 principles today that I think are good habits that will help build this champion mindset, if you will. Okay. That was so fast that I scrolled. Okay. Sorry. The first one, you guys, is commitment. A champion mindset is committed. And here's the deal. We know this all the time. Doing the thing you said, commitment is doing the thing you said you do long after the feeling that you said it in wore off. And that's like one of those hokey Pinterest quotes. I get it. But I really want you to like marinate with that for a second. Doing the thing you said you do after that feeling has worn off. I can't tell you how many times I get somebody in my inbox or somebody who sends me a questionnaire back to join my group, and they tell me their like deepest, most like personal, private elephants that are just laying heavy on their chest about, you know, wanting to lose this because of the lack of confidence they have, which affects their marriage, or they can't have children because of it, or what, like, I want to lose 70 pounds, and they're just like, I'm all in, I'm so willing, I want to do this. And then they, you know, they buy the pack, they do the things, and then they get in my group and they just don't stay committed. You gotta keep yourself rooted in your reason. It's so important that you know why you're here. And if I asked you right now, why are you a coach? And your answer is something along the lines of, I want to help people. I want to encourage you and nudge you in the direction that helping people is not enough. Because, raise your hand if you've helped at least one person this month. Okay. So if your reason for wanting to be in this business is, I just want to help people, but you haven't helped anyone yet, that reason is going to get old real quick, and it's going to wear off because you're going to be frustrated that you're not doing it, right? And so we help people. That's what we do, but that's not why we do it. So hear that again. As a coach, we help people. That's what we do, but that's not why we do it. And sometimes you have to really peel the layers back on like why you really got started in the first place. And for me, I was sick and tired of being broke as a freaking joke. And I started this because I needed a business to help me earn more income when I was a struggling teacher. And I was sick and tired of of panicking every time I went to the grocery store. That's why I started this. And because I started this, I've gotten to help so many people, and that keeps me fired up about helping more and more and more. But that's not my rooted reason, okay? If you don't have a deep-rooted reason, if you are not truly committed, it will always be exposed, you guys, by inconvenience. Anyone who's inconvenienced by any bit of this business, whether it's an inconvenience of getting on a team call, or the inconvenience of, you know, having to listen to a national wake-up call instead of the radio when you drive to work, or an inconvenience of having to, you know, do a power hour each day. If you get inconvenienced, if that's an inconvenience for you, then your lack of commitment is going to be exposed real quick. And that shows if you're interested versus committed, right? So the person, if we go back to the example of somebody who joins my challenge group who wants to lose 70, 80 pounds, wants to feel sexy again, wants to have confidence, is struggling to have, you know, be fertile and have children, and they don't lay a hold of that deep-rooted reason, getting up in the morning and working out before they go on with their day is going to be inconvenient. And then it's going to show that they really didn't want to lose the 70 pounds. They were just interested in it, right? And this is a blow to the ego sometimes that we have to ask ourselves, are you interested or are you committed? Another thing that gets exposed with commitment is people who, and this is DFW, down for whatever. Like, you've got to be down for whatever in this business, meaning if you like the idea of being a coach, but you're not going to post on social media, then you're not committed. Because you have to be down to do whatever, you have to be down to do whatever it takes, the behaviors. If you're committed, I'm committed to be a coach, Brittany, I want to go diamond, but you don't go to summit, then you're not down for anything. You're not down for the things that you're supposed to do. To go along with this, you guys, one of the guys this weekend, he told a story, and it was hilarious, about, he's like, I shouldn't have told you guys this, but he said that in the beginning, it was just him in his business that he crafted, and it was just him, right? Like all of us, you are your own teammate right now. I mean, you are on a bigger team, but until you start growing a team, you start by yourself. You say yes to your upline, and you start this business alone as your own thing. And he said that it was just him in the beginning, and he decided that he was going to, he needed to book himself for events. And so he would have people tell him, oh yeah, I need to book you for this. He's like, oh, okay, Trisha, my booking lady, she'll get back to you. She'll email you all the information. And he had Trisha, his booking lady, email these people. And he created an email. He created a signature that was Trisha. You guys, Trisha was him. He made it up. There's no Trisha. But he wanted people to make it seem like he was professional, like he had this like big team that was helping him like get booked for these speaking events. He had nobody. And he said, why are we so nervous to be beginners? Why are we so nervous to start small? Everyone has to start somewhere. When a kid falls down when they're learning how to walk, we're not like, well, you tried, kiddo, but I don't think you're ever gonna walk. No, we help the freaking kid back up, and we're like, you can do it, come on, get closer. And we encourage them to just take one more step. So why as adults are we so afraid to do that too? Why are we so stinking hard on ourselves? This gets me to emotional resilience. Commitment sometimes becomes exposed because you're not emotionally resilient. And I'm saying this as like the most emotional I have been crying for 5 days straight, you guys. Every time I called Charlie this weekend, I was like, don't do it, Britt. Don't do it, Britt. Don't do it, Britt. I'm having the best weekend, like every time, right? Like I would coach myself, don't cry, Britt, don't cry. And I cried every time. I am an emotional being, highly emotional, and I am sensitive, and I love it, and it's wonderful. And I've learned that about myself. But I've also had to build emotional resilience, because when somebody tells you no, they do not want information about your next challenge group. Do you have the emotional resilience to realize that that no doesn't mean that you suck, but rather that they're just not interested right now? A lot of us need to amp up our emotional resilience, that one small mistake, one small mishap, one failure, one no doesn't mean you suck and this isn't for you. It means you need to build your emotional resilience up so that you can get back on the playing field, right? A lot of times we've got to flip that. Instead of saying like, why am I struggling? We need to say, what is this struggling producing? What is this struggling producing? When I find myself struggling to hit Success Club, or struggling with the way I'm inviting, or struggling with my follow-up method, or struggling with anything I'm learning, like I have to ask myself, what can I learn from this? How can I get better? How can I adjust what I'm doing so that it's not just insanity, repeating the same thing and expecting a different result, but rather getting better along the way? That's commitment. Allowing your struggle to produce something rather than your struggle to allow you to take yourself off the field. Which leads me to my last bullet on this point is get quitting off the table right now, you guys. Get quitting off the table. And here's the deal. We say this line all the time, like, don't use the towel that you were going to throw in to like wipe the sweat off your face. Like, don't even bring the towel to the game. Don't even bring that. It's like the person that dangles divorce in their marriage. Why would you even do that? Like, remove divorce from the table and watch how your marriage thrives, right? Like, don't ever let that even be an option. So when we talk about commitment, it's not like, oh, I'm only committed when things are going well, or I'm only going to be committed if somebody joins my challenge group, or I'm only going to be committed if this person never quits, or I'm only going to, no, I'm committed, period. I signed up for this, I have a rooted reason, and I'm committed, and I'll figure it out along the way, no matter how long it takes. Rachel Hollis this weekend got to show us her journey of success, and a lot of people ask her all the time, she loves this question, she's like, people ask me all the time, how do you feel about being an overnight success? And she's like, I'm not an overnight success. It might seem to some that she is an overnight success, but she wrote 5 books prior to writing Girl Wash Your Face. That was her 6th book. She had a blog that started, I believe this is year, I want to say this is going on almost year 16 for her in her business. She started her business 16 years ago. 16, you guys. And now it's finally at a place where she's known and she's like thriving. Some of you started this business 16 days ago and you've already given up on yourself, right? 16 years, that's commitment. That's commitment. Okay, let's keep going. Point number 2, you guys. A champion mindset requires discipline. Discipline. Discipline is your tracker, right? Discipline is your tracker, but discipline can also be learning how to, level up in your self-care journey and all this stuff. But basically, discipline is becoming great at saying no to anything that doesn't help you get to your yes. But in order to be able to say no to those things, you guys, you've got to know what your yes is. What are you trying to do? What are you going for? Because when you know where you're going, it's easier to say no to those things, right? It's like if I turn my GPS on right now and I set it for a destination and I know exactly where I'm going, then I'm not going to stop off at this Starbucks and detour my way there. And I'm not going to go stop off at Target over here. No, my GPS is directing me where I'm going. So I can say no to the exits along the way. I can say no to the shiny object billboards that are trying to distract me. And I can stay on my path and get to my yes, get to my destination, right? So your yes is your destination. It's where you want to go. So if you said, Brittany, I want to learn, I want to help people. I want, that's what you want to do. I want to be able to help people. And so I've got to get better at inviting, right? And you've got this deep-rooted why. Then anything else that takes you away from learning how to be better at inviting and actually inviting people is a no. So maybe that's a no to scrolling social media mindlessly. Maybe that's a no to, Netflix at night. Oh my gosh, there was a stat. I gotta find it. I'm gonna find it later. I'm not gonna waste time right now. There was a stat she gave that was mind-blowing about the average person and how much, Netflix or whatever it's the scroll on Facebook. 30 minutes of scrolling on Facebook translates into about 22 work days in the year. So 22 8-hour work days. So if you take 30 minutes every day, which raise your hand if you're on Facebook for at least 30 minutes a day. Every hand should be up on this call right now because I guarantee your iPhone could tell you right now that you're on way longer than 30 minutes, okay? So every hand's up. We're all on at least 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day for an entire year, my friends, translates to 22 8-hour work days. And yet we say we don't have time. It's not that we don't have time. We're just taking our time and spending it elsewhere in pointless places. We've got to be more intentional about that. So if you're scrolling on social media, it's the same thing that I said before. You catch yourself. I do this. You guys do it all the time. But I catch myself. Oh, Brittany, what are you doing? Nope, that's not what you were here for. And I reroute. Course correct. So this is self-control. And it's how are you building it? Your team, Paige, your culture, our culture that we have on the team is how you can build it. But you've got to stay connected to that. So committing to book club is a way to build amazing self-control. When you say every Monday through Friday, I'm going to read a chapter of a book this month. That is incredible self-control. I don't know many people who say every day I'm going to sit down and read a chapter of a book that serves me and fuels me and makes me better. I don't know a ton of people that say they're going to do that. That's building self-control. That's building discipline. Another way to build discipline in this business is by completing a workout program and going all in on your journey. So if you've yet to complete a full program in 2019, don't end the year without doing that. If you don't have on your 2019 Beachbody resume that you completed from start to finish an entire program and you tracked that journey and you showed a before and an after when you finished it, and you turned it in for the Beachbody Champion Challenge t-shirt or tank top, if you can't check that off that you did that, I'm going to challenge you to build that self-control, that discipline. It's just like building a muscle. You've got to work at it, right? Another way to build discipline or self-control in this business is dropping your tracker every Wednesday. You know, I find it really interesting that we finished October Team Challenge and all of a sudden nobody wants to drop their tracker anymore because I'm not giving you one tally mark on your little sheet. And that's so silly, you guys. It's so silly. Like, really, a tally mark is what's going to be the thing that keeps you going? Seriously? Like, come on. Y'all are grown adults, right? Like, that was a fun challenge. It got us going. It built team, like, camaraderie. I love it, right? Like, it's fun. But that's not going to take you to where you're supposed to go. Having the discipline and self-control to say, every Wednesday I'm going to drop my tracker, not because I'm going to get a lollipop, but simply because I know that this keeps me accountable to doing my tracker, right? Getting on one-on-ones. Oh, shameless plug again. I don't know if you noticed, but I announced that Wednesday this week, I'm opening up the day for one-on-ones for 20 minutes each person. If you haven't had a one-on-one with me ever, you've never had a one-on-one, or it's been a while since you've had a one-on-one, after this call is over, please go sign up for a time slot. And if those time slots don't work for you, please indicate that in the comments so that we can find a time that works for you. But it's so important to get on these one-on-one times so I can hear where your head's at. You guys, I'm here to help mentor and coach you. I'm your friend. I love you. Like, I'm your sister. Like, yes. But I'm also the person that can say, hey, I know what's going on in your head because I dealt with that before. And this is what I think would help you right now. And I can nudge you in that direction. We need someone to do that. We need that accountability. There's not enough of that in our lives. We don't have enough people saying, hey, you're better than that. And this is how I know that. And this is what you can do, right? So get on one-on-ones, getting on trainings, you're already on this. And planning your week to win. Sitting down on a Sunday night, getting a planner out. And if you don't have a planner, I highly suggest you really start, maybe you have like one for just some chicken scratch for November, December, like a little piece of paper, but that you can print off from Pinterest, something fun. But when you're going into 2020, buy yourself a disciplined planner so that you can plan your weeks to win. Not to survive, my friends. We're not talking about like, let's plan our weeks so that we don't die. Let's plan our weeks so we win. At our Super Sunday in Dallas, she talked about this idea, and it's so awesome, you guys. This is great. And you can use this with your challengers or your people who are like, oh, I just don't have time right now. Okay, you don't have time. I get it. Everybody's busy. It's the holidays. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go 6 weeks from now, and I want you to go into your planner, and I want you to plan out when you're going to work out in 6 weeks. And that way, when you get to 6 weeks from now, and then you have to add other things to your schedule, you're already in it. Isn't that such a cool idea to make our challengers do that? But it works for the business. If you're like, oh, I'm so busy in my life right now, Brittany. Okay, I don't think you've planned out next week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks from now. I dare you, go get a planner, go get a calendar out and put your business in that so that when other things start coming in, you don't neglect that. It doesn't become a back burner item. She said something like, when you have to delete yourself from your own calendar, it becomes a little more eye-opening versus never putting yourself on it to begin with, right? It's a different mindset. If I never put myself on the calendar, then I don't have to think about it. But if I put myself on the calendar, I put my business on the calendar, and then I have to take it away, now I'm thinking about it. Okay? And to wrap this one up, guys, your decisions that you're making today, what you're making right now in your business and your self-care and everything, should be ones that your future you is going to thank you for and not hate you for. Your time, you guys, is so limited. It's so limited. So we've got to stop wasting it. I know in the moment it can feel like time is like just moving slow, but it's not. It's not. This year went so quickly, and next year's going to go even quicker, and you're going to wake up and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, why did I waste, all this time in my life? Stop getting so caught up in the day-to-day. Get out a planner, plan out your life so that you're going to win, so that you're not getting caught up in everybody else's agenda, right? Going back to that saying no to the things that don't help you get to your yes. Okay, moving on. Consistency is number 3. I love consistency. So we've got commitment. We're a committed group of coaches. We are a disciplined group of coaches, but we're also a consistent group of coaches. Your success in this business, you guys, is not about how talented you are. It's about showing up. And effort. I can't give you more effort. You can't give me more effort. That's on you. And so a big gut check is if you don't feel consistent, if you're like, oh man, I'm not consistent in my business, Brittany, then may I suggest that it doesn't matter to you, right? Because we know that we make time for things that matter to us, okay? So asking yourself, what have you made time for lately in your business? You're on this call right now. You made time tonight for this call. Amazing. You are ahead of the curve, my friends. But then what other things do you need to level up in? Maybe what didn't you make time for in the last week or 2 weeks, right? Oh, I love this one. This is going to get you guys real hard. Has anyone ever had a job they hated? Doesn't have to be the one you're in right now. I mean, it can be, but does anybody? Yeah? Okay. But did you show up to that job every day when you hated it? Like while you were in that job, you showed up every day? I know I did. I didn't walk out. Like I gave my proper exit that I was supposed to when it was time. But jobs that I hated, I went to them every day consistently. So isn't that insane? There's something about this business. There's something about this team. There's something about our challenge groups, our journey, our whatever it is for you. There's something about it that you love, yet we don't stay consistent to it. But we'll stay consistent to things we hate. So what that teaches me, what that shows me is that we know how to be consistent. We know how to be consistent. Every single one of us knows how to be consistent. So it's not a consistency problem. When someone's like, oh, it's a consistency problem. No, you have a commitment problem, right? Let that like sink in. It's not a consistency problem. This is a commitment problem. And the reason why you'd show up to a job that you hated consistently is because there was a consequence if you didn't. And the really challenging part of this business, what's unlike anything else, this business is so different from others in that there's not really an immediate consequence when you don't show up. If I didn't do anything today, my business wouldn't crumble today. Might not even crumble tomorrow. But if I continued to not show up, eventually you'd see the consequences, but they're not immediate, right? So this is the thing. What happens, what's your consequence? Do you have a consequence? And the longer you're in this business, the more people you have on your team, the more people who are counting on you, the consequence becomes greater. Because yes, you guys, I could have decided today I'm not showing up, but the consequence would have been I let all of you down who wanted a Monday night team training and to get fired up for your week. That would have been my immediate consequence. And I know that, and so I had a Zoom ready. Even if I didn't feel like being on tonight, I had it ready because there's a consequence for that for me, right? So what are some consequences you haven't that might be in place? What happens if you stop? Is anyone counting on you? And if there's no one counting on you, quickly find people that are counting on you, new teammates, new challengers, followers who watch you regularly and are invested in your journey. Because those are your consequences. And you're back, like putting your back up against the wall, right? I told you guys my story the other week about how I got my back up against the wall when I was working at Orange Theory, and that was the catalyst for change for me, right? Everyone in this planet, you guys, is replaceable. Like we are all absolutely 100% replaceable, including myself. And so I'm not saying that no one's replaceable because we are, but I don't want you to be replaceable. I want you to work as if you aren't replaceable so that it matters, you guys, if you don't show up, that people notice that you don't show up. And not just like your annoying upline coach, me, that's like, hey, where you been lately? You're not like me. Like I want people like your team suffers because you don't show up. Your challengers suffer because you don't show up. Your following suffers. Your inner circle, so your friends and your family, they suffer because they noticed, hey, you lost that spark you had, or you were working out and you stopped working out and you just seem really angry now, right? Like your inner circle notices. I don't want you to be replaceable. Consistency will build that. Okay, faith. Now this doesn't have to translate for you in like Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Like that's not what I mean when I say faith. When I say faith, I am saying a complete trust in someone or something, and it's like the hope in the unseen, right? Because when I don't when I haven't hit a goal yet, I don't necessarily know if, I know it's possible, but I haven't seen it manifest in my life, right? And that's faith, is believing that it's going to happen, even though I haven't seen it yet, right? But the problem is a lot of times we don't lean on faith, we lean on hope. And hope is scary because hope is a feeling. I hope I hit Success Club. I hope I, get to Emerald. I hope I'll make it. My favorite. I hope I'll make it on the team call. What? I hope I'll make it to Summit. That's a feeling. That's not an action. What do you mean you hope? You hope you're going to be on the team call. I hope you're like, are you going to be alive? Like, yeah, like I hope so too. Hope is a feeling. Faith, you guys, means that you're putting in the work, but not blind faith. Like, I'm so faithful, it's going to come. I'm so faithful. No, not blind faith, active faith, where I am actively working and I believe that if I continue to show up and put in the work, that it will happen. Maybe not in my timeline, maybe not when I think it's supposed to happen, but that it will happen if I just keep moving forward. You guys, failing, I gotta read part of this from here. Failing forward is the ultimate confidence booster. And you might think that's really counterintuitive, Britt. What are you talking about? Confidence booster with failing? But it is, because the more I can fail, you guys, the more I can fail, the more I can get better. I can adjust. The more I can realize that it wasn't the do-all, end-all, and that my failure doesn't mean that I'm a failure, but rather it means that I'm growing, I'm evolving. We build confidence when we fail because we can give ourselves permission. And I hope that on our team that there's 100% permission to mess up and fail, right? Because that shows me that you're trying. You wouldn't ever be able to, if you're like, nobody joined my challenge group this month, Brittany, or I said I wanted to hit SC6 and I didn't do it. Or I wanted to complete Morning Meltdown 100 and I stopped after 20. You tried. You did 20 workouts, so you tried something. You wanted to hit Success Club 6, so you sent out the invites and you made the social media posts and you tried. So be confident that it's okay not to hit the mark. What's not okay is to never even try in the first place. Failure is only final when you quit, you guys, right? Failure is only final when you quit. So failing forward is what I'm looking for, where I say, it's okay. It's okay that I didn't make this goal, but I'm going to keep going. My friends, I want to take you back to like a year ago at this time, and every goal that I set for myself in 2019, I'm pretty sure I haven't hit any of them. And I could sit back and be like, well, I failed. I didn't do it. I should quit. And I think all of you would be pretty disappointed in me, right? Like, no, Britt, but you tried, you showed up. That's the champion mindset. It's the faith, the faith that means if I just keep showing up, all those things I put on my goals for 2019, maybe they're going to manifest and happen now in 2020. I don't know, but I'm going to keep showing up and trying, failing, figuring it out, building confidence. We've got to grow our muscle of impossible. And what I mean by that is right now, what's something, and put it in the chat for me, what's something that feels really impossible in your business? I'll give you a second to write it down while I take a swig. What's something that feels impossible in your business? It doesn't, this is not a trick question. Put it in the chat. Finding time to read Slight Edge, even though I want to. So Amanda loves to do her personal development audio, but Slight Edge, you guys, is not on an Audible. Am I correct? It's not on Audible. Yeah. So this is a challenge for her and it feels impossible. Okay, that's good. Right now, something that feels impossible for me, you guys, is advancing our team to 5-star. 5-star feels, actually, and if I can be completely honest, 2-star feels really impossible right now because it just seems really far off. even though we've been 2-star at one point, we are not 2-star. And so even getting back to 2-star feels really hard right now, and almost impossible in my business. Getting even one person to sign up feels impossible. Hitting diamond feels impossible before the year is up. I'm loving these, guys. Thank you for being so open and vulnerable to sharing things that feel impossible for you. Okay. And you guys can keep adding them if you haven't yet, if other people haven't. But here's how we stretch that impossible muscle. And it's just like fitness. That's why I freaking love Beachbody, you guys, because the things I tell you are like so applicable to our business, but also to our fitness. So it's like they go hand in hand. But in fitness, right, if I can't lift a 10-pound weight, like 10 pounds is impossible on this one move. Like, for me, bicep curls, I am really comfortable at 10 pounds, but what feels impossible is to do a bicep curl at 15 pounds, right? But any trainer, any great trainer would tell you, in order to get to 15 pounds, which might seem impossible, maybe try going for 12 and a half. And once you get past that 10-pound mark, all of a sudden it's like, well, it is possible to do more than that, right? And so we start to figure that out, okay? So if Success Club 10 feels impossible for you because you've never hit it, but you have hit 6, shoot for 8 to prove it's possible to get past that thing you've stopped at. So if you've in your journey, you've never helped one person with a challenge pack, help somebody with a free Beachbody trial. This month, we're talking about helping someone with something. If you help somebody with something, even if they're like, just try collagen, just buy collagen or buy a 10-pack of Energize, and you get that win, you're going to realize, oh my gosh, it's not impossible to sell something. So maybe I can hit this thing. When we stretch ourselves and grow that muscle, it just shows us what's possible. Everything that I'm reading in the chat from you guys has been done by somebody in this network, and really cool, somebody on this team. So we don't even have to go far to find the possibility. It's right in our Inspire Beauty community. A diamond coach is right in our Inspire Beauty community. Reading personal development as opposed to listening to it, somebody's achieving that on our team. Getting our first person started, everyone's had to find their first person at some point, right? If you've been in this business a long time and you have a routine of helping people each month, at some point they had to help their very first person, right? Myself included. And so the cool thing is, on our team, there's possibility everywhere, you guys. I don't know if you see it, but like surrounding yourself with that perspective and contributing to a culture of belief that it might not feel possible for me today, but it's not impossible. I've witnessed other people do it, so it's possible. Could you imagine being the very first Beachbody coach that ever got to Diamond? Like, go way back, way back. Like, none of us were even around Beachbody then. But like that first coach that signed up that first teammate, and then they signed up their next teammate, and they signed up their next one, and they got to that first rank of Diamond. The very first coach to do that without anyone ever doing it before them, man, that must have felt really impossible, right? Because there wasn't a visualization of somebody already doing it. The cool thing about the business now is there have been so many coaches, just like you and me, normal, everyday people, that have paved the way that show us that it's not impossible. It's just proving to be challenging for me in this moment, right? So the more we can contribute to a culture of belief, and when I say a culture of belief, I mean like getting on the team page and like cheering somebody on, not saying, not allowing your fellow teammates to feel like, well, this is hard, so it must not be working. Guys, I've got a newsflash for you. And the thing I was preached to for like 4 solid days while I was at this event, this business conference, was this is hard. It didn't matter what speaker got on the stage. The main point of everything they said is, you signed up for this and it's hard and it's awesome. It's wildly awesome. You guys, when you break through that, I want to help that one person, and you finally help that one person, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can do it. But it was so hard to do it, but then you did it. And then you're gonna be on to your next thing that's hard. And you're gonna get on to your next thing that's hard. And you just get fired up to try harder things to prove what's possible. So contribute to that culture of belief on our team. That's you guys paving the way for everyone. Surrounding yourself with people, you guys, who are where you desire to be. So if you desire to help one person, surround yourself by all the people that are helping one person. Ask them questions, get in their inbox. And, I know that everybody on our team who's on the Success Club leaderboard month after month, they are amazing at answering questions. They love it when somebody comes in their inbox and says, hey, how do you invite people? You don't just have to ask Brittany. There are other leaders on our team who love answering those questions. And it would also offer them an opportunity to teach you in a place that maybe they've never gotten a chance to teach anybody before, how to duplicate what they're doing. So talk to people on your team. Surround yourself with the people who are where you want to be and ask them questions. Because when you put yourself in that reality, it doesn't feel like so much of a fantasy. The things you haven't done yet feel like this fantasy, right? It feels like, oh, it's just a dream. It's not going to happen. But when you see that someone's already done it, it makes it more realistic, right? Okay, my last point, you guys, is passion. It's the energy. And this can't be measured outwardly. I can't, and I don't mean outwardly like this. It absolutely, I can see it outwardly, but it can't be measured. There's no criteria or a checklist, and it's not something just like effort. I can't teach you passion. It's got to come from within you. And the passion, the things that fire you up and fuel you up might change and evolve and shift as you change and evolve and shift. And that's awesome. That just means you're growing. But in the beginning, some questions you might have to ask yourself to find that passion, to find that light, is what lights you up about this, about our team, about the business, about challenge groups, about Beachbody? What lights you up? Like, create an exhaustive list of what fires you up. What future, another great question that helps me when I get stuck, is what future can you envision for yourself that seems out of reach? I'm sitting in a future that seemed out of reach. When I started Beachbody, I didn't even have a boyfriend, let alone a fiance, let alone a husband, let alone building our dream house. And all of that's happened in the 6 years since I said yes to Beachbody. And so if you're sitting in a today where you're like, man, wouldn't it be cool? We played a really fun game at leadership and we said, wouldn't it be cool if, and we would rattle off all the things that we thought would be really cool, and nothing was allowed to be silly, right? Like, it was all okay to say. And I said, wouldn't it be cool if I was on the Ellen Show one day? Like, I think that'd be so cool. Like, you guys would all have to be in the audience, or on stage with me, because we've done something so epic that we all have to be there. But I can't, that seems really out of reach. I don't know how I get on the Ellen Show. I don't think I've done anything worthy enough to be on that. But that fires me up. I want to do something so worthy that I get asked to be on her stupid show one day, right? That'd be so cool. And use this, right? Use that. And it becomes contagious. Your energy, you guys, dictates if people believe, ooh, this one's so good, I got to slow down for it. Your energy will dictate if people believe that you can help them. When someone's watching your journey, and why I say it's so important to share your journey outwardly, they're not watching you because good for them, good for Kara, good for Allison, good for Amanda, right? It's not good for them. They're watching you saying, I wonder if I could do what she's doing, right? We put ourselves in other people's stories all the time. That's why people watch The Bachelorette with a vengeance. Because we put ourselves in stories like that all the time. We love reality TV, right? And you on social media essentially are a version of reality TV. And so people watch you to see not if you can help yourself. They could care less if you can help yourself. They want to see, can they help me? This is the other thing on that same note, is that people don't buy from you when they understand you. People didn't buy a challenge pack from me and join coaching because they understood that, my business was going to do this, this, and this. I don't need them to understand my mission because I'm not trying to convince anybody about what I'm doing. Rather, they're going to join you when you make them feel understood. So it's like the flip of it, right? And so when I can bring the passion of what I'm doing and the energy, and it becomes contagious, and people start to envision them in my story, in my shoes, they're going to buy from me, not because I've convinced them that this challenge pack is the best deal and that they should do 21-day fix and Shakeology is from the gods. No, I don't have to convince anybody. They're going to join you when they feel like, this girl gets me. she knows what I'm struggling with, and I think she could help me. That's when they're going to say yes. But that takes a passion and a vulnerability and an outwardness on social media in order to form those relationships and show people like what you're all about, that you're not just some sleazy person, like weirdo on social media trying to get their money, right? But it works. It's why people join me, because they feel like I understand them. They feel like I get where they're at, even if I'm not, even if I don't, right? But they get that feeling because I speak in a language that makes them feel understood, makes them feel like we're connected, right? And the energy that I bring to it is so contagious. If you're like, yeah, so our group is like, it's like really, it's really cool. So we drink this shake and, oh, you don't have to get the shake if you don't want to. I know it's really expensive, but we drink this shake and we work out. And I like it. Do you want more information? Like, hello? No, Pam, I don't want your information because you don't sound confident or enthusiastic about it. But if you're like, oh my freaking gosh, you need to be doing this with me. This is amazing. First of all, this Energize gives me life every day. And Shaun T, he cusses me out, but it's cool. I love him because he pushes me. And I get it done in my living room, 20 minutes, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and I'm on with my day. Oh, and the best part, there's this sisterhood where everybody comes in and they share their workout and they share what they're doing each day, and we light each other up and we build each other up, and it's just really awesome. Do you want more information? Very different way, right? And so the passion, and that, again, like I said, I can't measure that in you. I can't teach it to you. It comes from within, but you wouldn't be here if you didn't have some bit of fire and flame and passion within you. So what I'm going to wrap up with, that's my last slide. What I'm going to wrap up with is passion, faith, consistency, discipline, commitment. Those are our 5 different areas of this champion mindset. And I encourage you to like marinate on that for a hot second and ask yourself, like, what area, if you could pick one of those, because we get off these calls sometimes, I think, and we can be like, I'm so fired up to do all the things. Or we can be like, I don't know what to do because there's all the things, right? And you can be like in these weird spaces. And what I want you to do is I want you to just pick one. Like, what's one area this week? Do you need to focus on consistency? Is that like where you've been lacking? Is it that maybe you haven't been giving this enough time, that your faith has dwindled out, that you want things to happen like on your timeline and you're not willing to like let go of your grip of control for like 5 freaking seconds, said from a fellow control freak. Do you have faith that if you just put in the work that it'll happen? Maybe this week you need to explore that. Maybe, maybe you're not disciplined right now, that you're allowing other people to grab your attention, other things to grab your attention, and you're not setting yourself up to win the week. Right? And so figuring out which one of those 5 can you explore this week, and then just focus in on that one. And then when you feel like, okay, I'm feeling really good about how disciplined I've been with my business, I'm feeling really good about that, then we habit stack. Okay? And this is so important to understand this, because habit stacking is different than like grabbing for straws or letting something slide because we're going to now focus our attention somewhere else. So when you habit stack, I don't focus on consistency all week and then, okay, I feel real consistent. Okay, by consistency, I'm going to get passion over here. No. I'm going to stay consistent this week, and I feel good about that. So next week I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to try to bring the fire to what I'm doing. I'm going to get a little more passion behind what I'm doing, right? And then, okay, now these 2 things are happening, and I feel really good about these 2, and I'm going to stack on some commitment. I got to get committed, right? And stack these things on. And honestly, truthfully, if you want to know how to stack them, you could probably stack them in the order I gave them to you. Commitment, discipline, right? Are you committed? Are you disciplined enough to do the things? Are you going to be consistent with them? You're going to put a little faith on top of that and just believe that if you keep staying consistent, disciplined, and committed, that it's going to all work out the way you want it to at some point, maybe even better than you wanted to, right? And then can you light a fire and have some passion behind it? So there is kind of a method to how I put those together. But if you feel like I don't even know where to start with a commitment. Recommit yourself this week to something in your business, in your self-care, in your personal development, right? All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to stop on the recording.